welcome back to the Talking with Taylor podcast. I'm your host, Taylor, where we talk with anyone about anything, and hopefully everyone around the table will listen. And I am so excited to have our guest on today. He lives in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I met his family when I was speaking at Hawaii Baptist Academy last October, literally almost a year ago today. I came out in the 20th so of October, and I was speaking at Christian Emphasis Week. And I'm just excited to have Mr. Reid, and I'm going to try to pronounce his last name. He's gonna correct me if I'm wrong. Reid Shimabukuro, is that right?
Shimabukuro, you got it.
As close as I can, and I'm going to refer to you as Reid from Reid from now on. But Reid, you are a firefighter in Hawaii, and so tell us a little bit about how you guys are navigating during COVID-19 as a firefighter, as a first responder. And again, thank you so much for your service, being a frontline worker. So how are you guys dealing with COVID-19?
Well, like the rest of the country, I think first responders, they understand the risk. I mean, we've understood the risk well before the pandemic started. Our job every day has inherent risks, and it's no different. We just take additional precautions. We do things a little different nowadays. We treat patients a lot different.
That's right.
But for the most part, we are on a heightened awareness and making sure that we don't either one, catch it, two, take it home to our families, do everything we can to safeguard ourselves and our crew.
That's right. And we're praying for you guys, praying for your safety. Well, let's talk about Hawaii specifically during this pandemic, because travel has really kind of been shut down to the island from the mainland. Is that correct?
It just started to reopen to international travel just days ago.
Wow.
On the 15th. But, tourism for the state of Hawaii is the number one source of our economy. And so not having any flights coming in, not having any travelers, tourists, things like that is crippling our state and our economy.
Absolutely. And so literally the summer is usually probably prime time, and you guys had an entire summer where no one was coming in. And you guys, I saw where your governor, literally the inter-island travel was stopped for a little while. Is that correct?
Oh, we've been going through all phases of restrictions on travel. I mean,
wow.
From inter-island travel to, international, domestic. We were, prior to the pandemic, we were averaging 30,000 visitors a day.
Wow.
And since we lifted a partial restriction on the 15th, they're allowing, what they're saying is about 8,000 a day now. So it's still, it's better than nothing, but it's still not where we were prior to the pandemic starting. Yeah.
Well, and with the uncertainty of the pandemic, I know people are just hesitant to book. And my wife and I were actually planning on coming in November over Thanksgiving, but just due to uncertainty, we had to cancel just because we didn't know when the island was going to open back up and flights, dealing with all that. So that was tough. But I'm happy to see the island opening back up for tourism. Like you said, it's a big deal for your guys, y'all's economy. And the week I was able to spend out there, I really, really enjoyed being on the island and getting to just experience life with you guys. And let's talk about that for a moment. A lot of people see Hawaii in pictures, see Hawaii in magazines, but they don't ever really get to go. And what is one thing that you would say if a family goes, or if you visit Hawaii for the first time? What is it, if you could only do one thing, what's one thing that they should do while they visit Hawaii?
Well, you certainly got to go to the beaches, and the more you venture out of Waikiki, the more you take in the beauty of Hawaii, And if you have a chance to go to outer islands, I would highly suggest that, because that's where you're going to get a real feel and a real taste of what Hawaii's all about.
Absolutely, and I was only in Waikiki the week I was there, and my wife and I were hoping to do a little island hopping, as they say, when we went out there. But hopefully we'll plan another trip, and that'll be very exciting if we get to do that. And I, like you said, the beaches are beautiful, and I remember the Pastor David Green. He was the chaplain out there, and he's a pastor in South Carolina now. He would take me to I think we went to Disney's resort, and we were swimming and doing some snorkeling, and the sea turtles would swim right up to you. You didn't want to touch them, but they'd swim right up. I mean, that's incredible. It really is. So, and you guys do an incredible job of conservation with your wildlife, and that was really incredible to see as I was out there. Well, not only are you a firefighter, you're a husband to Miss Shelley. That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah, Miss Shelley. I met Miss Shelley at Hawaii Baptist Academy when I spoke there. But you also coach football with it's called the Palama Scorpions. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about this football team and the young men that you coach, and what you guys try to instill in your players.
That Palama Settlement, first of all, has been around for 125 years.
Wow.
It was started by missionaries, okay,
Wow.
with a purpose to come to the state of Hawaii. At the time, it was a territory, and it was to help the health crisis that was going on. You know, we had a bubonic plague in the state of Hawaii, and you know, they played a vital role in helping the community. But their focus has always been on the youth and on the seniors of the community. And I tell you, to be around for 125 years today, you know that the organization is doing something right.
That's right. Absolutely. And, just from what I've heard of the organization and what you guys instill in these young men as they're, becoming young, godly men for the kingdom, it's incredible to see what you guys do. And I'll tell you, probably one of the coolest things for me when I was out there, Pastor David was driving me around, and we'd drive by some football practices, and you would literally see, you see anywhere from Little League, to high school, and you look out in the open and there's the ocean right behind you, because it's just a beautiful scene, beautiful scenery. And what you guys instill in these players is incredible. Well, Reid, we are almost to a close here on the podcast, on our time, and so we've highlighted a couple things about Hawaii, how you guys have dealt with the global pandemic, which you guys being on an island is a lot different than being on the mainland, because hey, there's nowhere to go if it really starts spreading rapidly on the island. So it was very important to get it under control where you guys were. And you talked about you being a firefighter, and we're so thankful for your service, and so thankful for you being a first responder. But here's what we're going to leave everybody with. For those that don't know, I'm talking to the biggest LSU fan in the state of Hawaii. And so you said you've been an LSU fan for 15 years. So what made you start liking the LSU Tigers?
Well, I'm a defensive coach at Palama.
Okay.
I've always been a fan of good, strong defenses. And that's one thing that LSU had, and it kind of prides itself on, is being a fast and physical defense. I know you're a huge Alabama alumni and former player for Nick Saban there at Alabama. So,
yes, sir.
We have our competitive juices, and I'll tell you what, LSU, it's every so many years, probably once a decade, that they have a really good team.
That's
and
right.
the SEC is a tough place to play.
It is.
It's like championship week every weekend.
That's right. And LSU got that championship last year, and you speak to that exactly, where SEC is so tough to play in, because literally a year ago, You guys were the national champions, and this year, look what's happening. It's a rebuilding year, so it's you never know in the SEC, which it makes it one of the. I mean, I'm a little biased, but the best conference, the toughest conference to compete in. I know your friends in Hawaii probably won't like us talking about SEC football, but we got Tua. You know, Tua came from Hawaii, so and he's starting this Sunday for the Dolphins. Did you see that, or they just released that?
I didn't see that.
Yep.
So, obviously that's good news for the state of Hawaii.
That's right. And I tell you, we're going to try to get Tua on here at some point, but hey, you know, it's good stuff to see Hawaii represented, and, you know, incredible island, incredible place. And so, hey, from, you know, one way you can help Hawaii is obviously be praying for them, praying for Palama, an organization that's been here for 125 years. Be praying for them. But like Reid said, one of their main sources of their economy is tourism. So one way to support Hawaii is go visit. And so we'd encourage you guys to go visit and to be safe. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, do not go to that island. But man, if you're healthy, if you're not sick, we'd encourage you to do so. Well, Reid, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Is there anything you want to leave our listeners with before we go?
No, just thank you for having me, Taylor. You know, I mean, I know our plan is to meet up in person.
Yes.
And, you know, I'll certainly take you down to Palama so you can meet the boys. They'd be excited to meet you.
I'd love to meet them.
Look forward to that day. And whatever you can share with your experiences of being an Alabama football player.
Hey, I'll tell you this. That is my main goal. The next time I'm on the island is to meet you in person, and then to go speak to your Palama boys, and hopefully in 2021 we can make that happen.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Yes, sir. Reid, thank you so much for being on, and everyone listening. Remember, you are listening to the Talking with Taylor podcast, and thank you guys for joining us today.